Despite being born with a badly distorted leg on the 28th of October 1933, Garrincha went on to become one of the best players ever to represent Brazil. One of the finest dribblers in the history of the game, he was admired for his explosive pace and incomparable skills, talents that helped Brazil to successive FIFA World Cup triumphs in 1958 and 1962. At the 1958 finals in Sweden, Garrincha became part of a formidable attack that included a precocious teenager by the name of Pelé. Brazil coach Vicente Fiola was unhappy with his team's performance in their opening group matches and opted to introduce Pelé and Garrincha to the fray against the USSR. A goal in each half from striker Vava secured a 2-0 win, but it was Garrincha and Pelé that made the difference. Brazil went from strength to strength and eventually beat Sweden 5-2 in the final. Vava and Pelé scored 2 goals each, but Garrincha was the unsung hero. His contribution was crucial, providing several assists on his team's way to glory. Garrincha's finest hour came 4 years later at the 1962 FIFA World Cup finals in Chile. His magical displays and 4 crucial goals won him the Player of the Tournament award. Brazil were dealt a severe blow early on in their campaign when Pelé was ruled out of the finals through injury. Despite the obvious disappointment, Garrincha was ready to play for them both. In the first round, he was a constant menace to opposing defences, helping Brazil to the top of their first-round group. In their final Group 3 match against Spain, Garrincha set up the winning goal with a devastating run. He beat 2 men before providing an inch-perfect cross for Amarildo to head home. In the quarter-finals against England, Garrincha showed an unexpected side to his talents. From Zagallo's corner in the 31st minute, he got in front of his marker and scored a thumping header. Despite an equalising goal from Jerry Hitchens 7 minutes later, Garrincha was not to be denied. In the 53rd minute, his powerful free kick was parried into the path of Vava, who restored Brazil's lead with a close-range header. Garrincha put the final nail in England's coffin 6 minutes later. He secured a famous 3-1 win with his second goal of the match, and without question one of the best goals of the tournament. The Nacional Stadium in Santiago hosted the semi-final between defending champions Brazil and host Chile. Garrincha started where he'd left off against England, demonstrating his skill with devastating effect. He opened the scoring in the 9th minute with another magnificent goal, this time with his left foot. In the 32nd minute, he scored with his head again, hammering in another corner from Zagallo. Brazil eventually won the match 4-2 and progressed to the final against Czechoslovakia. They started slowly, allowing Joseph Masopust to give the Europeans a shock lead. Brazil fought back valiantly though, and after Amarildo had equalised in the first half, Zito gave the South Americans a deserved lead midway into the second. Vava sealed a marvellous comeback in the 78th minute following an error by Czech goalkeeper William Schroef. Brazil won 3-1 to retain their crown, with Garrincha the undoubted star of the tournament. Garrincha's last appearance on the world stage was at the 1966 finals in England. Brazil got off to a wonderful start with a 2-0 victory against Bulgaria. Pelé scored in the first half and Garrincha in the second. His distorted legs bending in at the knee were made for outrageous shots like this. Unfortunately, Brazil were a shadow of the side that had triumphed in 1958 and 1962. They lost their remaining group matches and exited the tournament prematurely. Remarkably, the match against Hungary was Garrincha's only defeat in 50 appearances for Brazil. Sadly, his 50th cap turned out to be his last international and FIFA World Cup match. Garrincha left a lasting impression on the FIFA World Cup with his match-winning performances during the 1962 finals. Brazil's beloved winger was revered for his unique talent, and despite his tragic death in 1983, Garrincha's memory will live on forever.